Cheers, guys. Epyx911, welcome to the Elitist Geek, and a bit of a different VR game episode. Instead of the usual quick look series, I'm going to be doing a top 10 list. But like I mentioned in the news video, if you happen to watch that already for today, I'm going to keep it within, kind of the theme and feel of the channel and make it a top 10 VR regardless of which platform, i.e. across the four bad boys behind me. So Gear VR, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and Sony PlayStation VR. So without further ado, let's get into the list, starting with number 10. This one comes to us from the HTC Vive. It's an FPS game. It's called Onward. Now, admittedly, it's a game I haven't played near as much as I would like. But what I love about this game is the locomotion system. The locomotion system, the fact that it was a one-person effort, he's essentially recreated what some teams would struggle to create. Now, is it absolutely polished? Hell no. There's a lot of work to be done, but amazing potential. And most of all, it's fun. A lot of fun, and a lot of people playing it. Next up, at number 9, we have Project Cars, and it's the Rift version that I actually prefer on this one. What I love about Project Cars, especially with a racing wheel, in fact, I would suggest it's mandatory to play racing games with wheels. If you want that true, close to full immersion as you can get yourself a racing wheel. It makes a huge difference. Project Cars had a lot of issues initially. Driver support has gotten a lot better, and performance, understanding how the game works and tweaking it correctly, we've made a lot of strides on that with people documenting the best settings. End result, the frame rate is fantastic, the eye candy looks good, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. Coming in at number 8, the Solace Project, this time for the HTC Vive. Now, what I absolutely love about the Solace Project, it's a survival FPS game, is the locomotion system. In fact, the locomotion system in here, along with the one in Onward, are probably my two favorite locomotion systems. If you could blend those, you'd probably have close to, I won't say perfection, because it doesn't matter the solution, they're pretty far away from that. You'd have one hell of a good solution. All right, coming in at number 7, Res Infinite. Now, Res Infinite is just amazing. It's a very faithful redo of the original Dreamcast and PS2 version. And I think Exidy would agree that even though they went with that over-the-shoulder view, it definitely keeps within the spirit of the original.
Absolutely. It's currently my number 1.
Yeah, and his number 1, exactly.
I love Res VR.
Yeah. My number 7, again, that's for the PlayStation VR, and I would classify it most as a rail shooter. All right, coming in at number 6 for the HTC Vive, The Gallery Episode 1. This is an adventure game, and that's precisely why it's here. No game in VR has done what this game has managed to do for adventure games. And that is show that with VR, some long dead, not quite near as popular as they once were genres can be resurrected because they bring new features to the table. The immersion, all the strengths and benefits of VR can be felt in this game. Is there room for improvement? Hell yeah. But that's part of why this game is so good. It shows you, what they've managed to do, but it also shows you just by their, the absence of, but knowing what VR is capable of, how much they can still add. And I, for one, I'm super excited about what future adventure games in virtual reality are going to look like as a result of having played this. Coming in at number 5 for the HTC Vive, Wrath of the Fire God. Now, Wrath of the Fire God, it's an early access game. You guys know my feeling on those in general, even though so many of the games that I play and my favorites are early access. Wrath of the Fire God is almost perfect in terms of pacing. You've got nice, short, challenging levels So they're over within 5 to 8 minutes, which is perfect if you're one of those people who can't stand to have an HMD on your head for more than 10 minutes. This is absolutely the game for you. Like I said, challenging. You get a damn good workout out of it. I know I, for one, was definitely sweating and feeling like I'd been doing some sort of exercise after playing this. And it's still a game I like to go back to play, especially with the new content. So hopefully much more added on its way to launching commercial. And that's for the HTC Vive. Now, next game coming in at number 4 for the Oculus Rift. Also a wave shooter, Damaged Core. Now, Damaged Core, in my opinion, is just a blast. It looks great, feels great. Yes, it's wave-based, but it's got elements of it that are tower defense-esque. You know, there's elements of other types of games in it. Now, some people have complained that, you know, it put a strain on their neck, it hurt them. I didn't get any of that, and I played a lot of this game. And I still have a lot left to play on it. But no, the main thing for me is just a hell of a lot of fun with nice visuals to boot. All right, coming in at number 3 for the HTC Vive, Vanishing Realms. Much of what I said about Gallery, you know, in terms of adventure games, would apply to Vanishing Realms for role-playing games. It shows you what VR is capable of, and again, shows you what it could be capable of. Stuff like combat. Combat could only get better. And think of a combat system 10 times better than what you get in Vanishing. Now think of one 50 times better. The point being, in virtual reality, combat can continue to grow, feel more realistic, feel more in your face and visceral, especially real time. That I'm just drooling for the RPG, the VR RPG of 5 to 10 years from now. I think they're going to be absolutely mind-blowing. All right, number 2 for the HTC Vive and a wave shooter, Raw Data. This has been my favorite Vive game for pretty much since it was released. Nothing has really taken its place. It is just absolutely fantastic in all ways that are important to me. Pacing, gameplay, graphics. Again, short but focused levels. So if you don't want to be playing a VR game for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, this is the game where you can literally jump in, play a bit of a level, play a full level, quit, and resume where you left off the next time. So that's Raw Data for the HTC Vive. Some of you probably know where I'm going to go with this. My number 1 favorite virtual reality game. It's on the Oculus Rift, and it's Elite Dangerous. There has been absolutely no virtual reality game like Elite Dangerous for me. In terms of staying power, in terms of longevity, I've easily put into the VR version over 250 hours of gameplay, which for me, given my time situation with work and other things, is pretty damn amazing. So that's Elite Dangerous, and I'm probably going to put many more hundreds of hours into it.
The only reason it's not my number 1 is I don't own it.
Yeah, that's right. You don't own it, exactly. Now, what is it? For those of you who don't know, most of you probably do, it's basically a sandbox sci-fi game. You are free to do whatever the hell you want. Is it grindy? Hell yeah. Is it varied? Hell yeah. It's a cockpit game, which in my opinion is the most natural fit for VR regardless. And there is no game that conveys, for me, that childhood dream of being able to sit in a frickin' spaceship in virtual reality since I was a kid in elementary school. And you know what? Now I can, thanks to Elite Dangerous. All right, guys, that's my top 10 list. How about you guys? You disagree strongly with that list? You have your own to throw in? Let me know in the comments below. As always, guys, cheers, and definitely, as I grab my Stein, see you on the flip side.